So, welcome back again to the Opportunity Forum. I've got Gabriel. I've also got my cousin Ricardo. We are back. We are live again, and we're going to hit you up with some even more. I'm going to say, well, a whole heap of pepper sauce in this one, and it was the why. The why. The question why. Everyone's been asking, why am I here? No, that's not the question. Here's the saying. It says that he who has a why for which to live can bear with almost any how. So if you know what your why is, whatever the circumstances, you know, when it gets tough, that why, or as Ricardo would say, you've got to have a why that can make you cry. So I'm not sure whether are we going to share our whys, because I've got my why here. Are we going to share our whys?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. We can share a few. The whys is exactly. Why not? I mean, there's a couple of whys I can say. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So before we get into that, there has been a couple of questions, and there was a poll question I actually put on the platform like 3 days ago. So we'll get into that a little bit afterwards. But there was a couple of questions that kind of came through this week. So the first question, I'm not sure who's going to pick this one up. It says, when did you consider yourself successful? And this one comes from a podcast called Where to Hear Podcast. So Ricardo, when did you consider yourself successful?
You know, this is an amazing question, because I'm pretty sure success have a different meaning for everybody. Some people think they are successful when they can afford a house. Some people want afford the car. Some people want holidays. Some people want money. For me, is I have the time in my hand. I can't control it. I can't do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I don't need to have that pressure about I need to be here today now. I need to be here at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I can't make decisions with myself because I am my own boss. I got the time in my hands. I think that when you are capable to share the time with the love, go or wake up when you want to wake up, do the business or do whatever you're doing, make your money, but it's just have that. For me, it's all about the freedom. That is where I consider myself successful. Yeah.
That is so funny. I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you said. The reason why I'm saying that is because, I can turn around and say there are many aspects, and let me tell you something. When I say successful, there are other things that I strive for success, right? I mean, I never turn around and say I'm successful, I've made it. I'm always saying to myself, I've got to strive. But I have to say, one of my biggest successes in life is what Ricardo just alluded to. When you've hit that time where you've got freedom, time, you're literally freedom, to do many other things, and at the same time, you can do that in a financial way as well, right? So what does that mean? What does that mean? It gets to a point where you at times, even when you're sleeping, or when you're doing what you think, money's coming in at the same time, but at the same time, you've got freedom, and freedom to do what you want, as you said, spend time with your family, spend a lot of time with your family, go away, with family, or meet families abroad, all sorts of things. When you have the freedom to do that, right, without being bogged down and worrying about all the other things that you have to figure out, like job and stuff, I think that is a form of success. I think, no question about it. So but as I said, there are other things that, in terms of success, I strive for too, because, as I said, I feel my work is never done.
Okay, all right. The next question that kind of came on the platform last week was, what was your biggest mistake, and what did you learn from it? I'll go first very quickly. So one of my biggest mistakes, and I think maybe Ricardo spoke about this maybe last week or the previous podcast, is do not share your dreams with anyone. I remember sharing a dream with somebody, and the person was saying, but you know what? you're probably not going to reach it. Why would you go and do that and disrupt what you're doing here now? And what happened? The person actually took my idea and ran with the idea before I even got going. So my biggest mistake is to share my dreams and aspirations with other people. I learned a big mistake. Don't just keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. But that's my biggest mistake. Ricardo.
For me, it's gonna be kind of a tool, because I think one of my biggest mistakes in my early times when I started doing the web marketing was that I wasn't prepared. I wasn't educated enough to understand what I was doing, and then I was starting getting frustrated with people when things weren't going on my way, or people were saying I don't want to do it. So I got frustrated, but it was because I wasn't educated enough. I didn't have a strong foundation or posture. So I think that was my thing. And the other thing is, I tried to do business with everybody who was coming or just crossing my path, and you can't do that. It's not for everybody. You need to be selective. But that comes with time, that comes with vision, that comes with preparation. So I tried to grab everybody, and then I started getting frustrated about that. Then I realized, hold on a minute, you need to be selective, because you are open up with someone. Yes, it's the opportunity, but you want to get a bond with a person and do great things. But it's not everybody for that kind of opportunity. It's not everybody who have the same frequency like you, like we talked before. So for me, it's the two things. I wasn't well prepared. I wasn't well educated. I wasn't prepared for the opportunity, and then that thing's about trying to go for everybody and for everyone, and I pay the price.
Yeah. Actually, Gabe, before I go to you, just what you said there, Ricardo, because back in the day when I started in multi-level marketing, network marketing, is that we were taught you really cannot overlook people, because you just don't know. The person who's thinking, oh, you know what, they're probably not going to join for X, Y, Z reason. That person could be the diamond in the rough. But I understand what you're saying. Literally, the business is not literally for everyone. But I think if we overlook certain people, that person might just be the person who could be the great builder in your organization.
Yeah, we could say that. We could say that, Alex. We could say that. But sometimes it's like sometimes life gives you clues. It's true. You see the comes and it's full of energy and doesn't do anything, and you see the person that comes quiet, learn, boom. You say, where did this come from? But as I said before, as we get wiser, get in the game, we get older, we can size people at a different level. I can size people even for the way they walk. I'm not saying that person is not gonna make it, but you look at you know what I mean? Yeah, kind of. You can scan better, because we scan. It's just that it's not like you have to. I don't judge. Don't get me wrong. I don't judge. Judging is wrong, but you need to scan to see what's going on, mannerism, attitude. You need to get our feedback. I think we get better as the time comes. But my early days, I think most probably because I wasn't prepared, I wasn't well educated, didn't know many principles that I know now. I was more like a bullet kind of job.
Yeah. Gabs, you wanna chip in on this, Gabs?
Yeah, in terms of mistakes, I can turn around and say that one of my biggest ones probably a financial one. It could be, but I'm gonna just take a different spin on it, because this one really just kind of changed my life, the way I had to think about what I was doing. Because what happened was, there was a person that came around to do my house, right? And he had this big truck. Or it's a truck. It's like a trailer. So it's like a trailer truck. And I decided, and he said to me, I wanted him to move the car, right? But he didn't move it. So I decided, and this is just me being, and I just what I'm doing, want to tell you what I learned from this, right? And I thought, God, I can't be bothered to just get him to come in, and because I need to just get this done really quickly. So what I did is I actually, as I remember I used to do back in the day, and it was probably easy to do it, where you can just pull off the handbrake, all right, pull off the handbrake, and then eventually, and let the car roll a bit, and then pull up the handbrake. But for the sheer weight of that was in that thing, as soon as I pulled off that handbrake, it went so fast. I thought my life had flashed in front of me. Funny enough, guess what? As I got out the way so quickly, I squeezed myself between my house and the car. The door shut. The car went right forward. I thought it was going to hit the next house. Luckily, it stopped, and it hit the it stopped. And I looked, thinking, why did it stop? Why did it stop? I'm looking at it. Went to the car and I looked at it. It was the man's toolbox. It stopped the car.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
So I looked at that and I thought, oh my God, thank goodness. I mean, I don't know what. And I just remember thinking to myself, I said, I've still got a lot in my life to that I need to achieve. I can't go out like that. Do you know what I mean? And funny enough, the funny thing about that, it taught me, I go, okay, my instincts. Trust my instincts. I should have been patient. I should trust my instincts. I should have said, no, you know what, I'm going to wait. But I went against it and everything like that. And I'll tell you what, why I say that is because the next time I trusted my instinct, my young son I took him to athletics. Same thing I did. My car stalled. The car stalled, and I couldn't do anything. So the car was actually in the middle of the road, but it was on a quiet road which leads up to the running track. But took it. And then what happened is that I thought, what am I going to do? Oh, same thing I'll do. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to try to push the car off, onto the side. Funny enough, my son's in the back. The son's in the back. I say, son, can you just get out of the car? Can you just get out of the car, because I'm not going to push the car with you in it. And funny enough, as soon as he got out the car, took his bag, went out there, and I said, and then I tried to push the car off the road. For some reason, it just hit a bump, and it went straight through into the bushes between two trees. Let me tell you, between two trees. There were all these trees. It went between two trees and into the river.
Oh my God! So
what that may tell me again is, I said, thank goodness I trusted my instinct. I told my son to get out of the car. Secondly, I thought, wow. Now I'm starting to think to myself, I'm not done yet. I still have a lot in life to give. That was a really big wake-up call. So yeah, those things.
Yeah. But also, with mistakes, there's a lot to learn from mistakes. When you're doing things right, there's not much to learn, is there? But that's how we learn, from making mistakes. Unfortunately, some people go through life and they never learn from their mistakes. But anyway, that's a
I love it. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Ricardo, this question is for you. It says, Ricardo, is there a routine you attribute to being a success, and what are they? And this one comes from Wayne Graybrook.
Okay, so good question. I think when we talk about routines, we're talking about the daily method of operation, DMO, and everybody have a different DMO. I'm pretty sure Gravio has his one. You, Alex, you have your one. Some people wake up in the morning.
Sorry, Ricardo. And I know what you mean by DMO, right? Daily method of operation, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So some people have a different one. Some people wake up in the morning and they do affirmations. They're trying to post in social media. Then later on they do something. It's just too many. But for me, what really works for me is the most important thing for me is you need to be associated to people who want the same thing like you. When you are in a circle of people who want more for life, they are motivated, they are winners. Because for me, as I mentioned before, it's not about the big wins. I consider anyone who wants to do something with their life, think they are not just an ordinary person. They want something more is a winner. So for me, it's about you being associated with the right type of people. And this is something that I haven't got a lot of friends in life. I don't know a lot of people, but the people that I know, the people that I am dreaming to be close to them are people who want more for life and people who have a meaning in life and people who are not just walking, passing by and breathing. People who have goals, a strategy. And when you are in that circle, it just gave you where you need to be. Of course, it takes work for you, coming from you. It takes for you coming in the morning, doing the mundane, talking to people, sending the opportunity video and going to meetings. But the fuel is being around people who are really want more for life. So whatever you're doing is you are in a circle of people who are not motivated. You are in a circle of people who just exist. Find another circle and make sure that wherever you go, you are not the smartest in your circle. Somebody's smarter than you. When you become the smartest in your circle, find another more because then there is no push. So I'm, I've been blessed. I've been blessed. I'm, you Alex, Gabriel, for me being doing this is fantastic. And I always try to find people who, I always say to people, I love having good conversation because that give me a high. Some people need to be high with alcohol, or drugs, or do something. For me, the conversation. When I have a good conversation, woo. Brilliant. So,
there you go.
You know what, Ricardo? I've got my 2 debit cards, man. I need to pay for your services, man. For your advice, man. I've got my cards ready to pay, man.
This is what I'll recommend you to do. Or if you want to have success, say just hang out with the right type of people. People can push you and teach you something. That's it.
Absolutely.
Very good point.
And for you, Gabs, set routine, DMO.
Yeah, daily method of operation. For me, as it's getting up in. I always make sure that, as you said with the DMO, like one of mine is always making sure that when I get up in the morning, I'm feeling good. I go to the gym or do a workout or whatever, go out for a bike run, go out for a swim. You know what I mean? Those kind of that gets me started, right? And then I'm nice and full of energized. And then I go right now I need to tackle. Now I need to speak to, start speaking to people.
Yeah.
Yes, sharing opportunities. And again, most of it is having that great conversation with certain people to get you, to really get you motivated at the same time as well. So being around that, and obviously being around, definitely, I agree with that one. Being around with those people that help you push you up, because sometimes you might have a day where you're not even thinking, oh my God, I need to be doing this and everything, and someone rings you and they go, hey, Gabe, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah. Oh, what about something? And I go, oh, of course. Yeah, I should be doing that. So, you know what I mean? We're not all perfect. Sometimes we can get railroaded by other things, things like that. So it's good to someone to sort of steer you in the right direction. So that goes on to the other thing about mentoring, isn't it?
Yeah. Good point, Gabs.
Yeah.
So a big up to English Conversation Club, who came in with a couple of comments there. And also Melissa, who says, hi, everyone. Melissa, do you have any questions for us? If you do, you can just pop them into the live chat, and I'll put it to either Ricardo or Gabriel. So that is that. I believe we're going to be talking about the power of the why. like I said at the beginning, you know, if you know the reasons why you're doing this, the how is should be fairly easy. Yeah. Ricardo, do you want to go first?
Yes.
About your why?
Yeah, I would love to go first. And first
Okay.
of all, before I get why, I would love to give you a little bit of definition. I was been doing my research. Why this such a big? He's saying here why refers to a person's purpose, a reason for being, motivator, and should be the driving force behind their actions and the things that give their life meaning. Essentially, it is what they want to achieve in life and what they want to do. That should be you why. Or that is the concept of you know why. Of course, different why. And as I always say to people, why is your why today? It doesn't be necessarily your why tomorrow when you like change. Your why you can't change why, but you need to have something clear. For me, as I always say, my wife always been give a better life to to my kid, have that time free, financial freedom that I think everybody deserves, and my life on my own terms. That is what I want to do before I transition or plus help other people to do the same thing. So this is my wife. But my main thing is always saying my daughter. I mean, this is my I want her to have a better life. I want her to learn through the things that her dad is doing. I don't want to tell them what to do. I want her to have a kind of a role model, find getting that financial freedom, time freedom, and living my life on my own terms, so she can understand that there is something else beyond the normal education. So this is my main why. As I mentioned before, it can change tomorrow, but another thing is you need to make sure that your why is always going to be bigger than you. It needs to be bigger than you.
Absolutely.
It's not about you. Okay. So I would love to hear from you, Gabriel and Alex, just a little bit about your why as well. And before we move on to something else.
Yeah, so I mean, what you mentioned there about the why being, is the driving force for what what you need to do. And the reason you have to have that why, and it has to be bigger than you, as you mentioned, is because you will come across obstacles, adversity, things like that, which will railroad you at times, and then you think to yourself, and then you need that why to remind you, right, why you're doing what you're doing, and stay and you need to get back on track. And that's what it is. So and when I say, it has to be bigger. So when I look at it, was never enough. When you look at a why which is probably pretty small, what happens is sometimes is that you get to do something, you get railroaded, and then you think to yourself, well, I can't be, I cannot be asked to do this. So that to me tells me that the why wasn't big enough. And that could be the fact that you just turn around and say, oh, you know what, I would love to have enough money to, to buy this. That's a small. I know, just to buy this, rather than saying I'd like to have the financial freedom to be able to do this, and then also to help a lot of other people, even in a humanitarian perspective. How would I have now got the freedom to actually go out there and help people, out in poor areas and things like that, and work on projects, things bigger. So that is, that's a dream, a dream which is, or say a why, which is actually far bigger than you, because now you're impacting many lives and everything like that. So, and not even that is fulfilling. And at the same time, it's fulfilling. So when you have that why as well, it has to be fulfilling as well. So that's how I basically see how you got the why. Because I've, and Alex, I've got a slide there which has got the pictures of everything. How do you brainstorm and figure out what your why is, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to figure that out.
I've seen that. Right.
Okay.
So in regards to me, I've got like a 3-tier say why, I would say. And it's one of the first things I see in the morning. It's actually on my bedroom wall, along with my financial goals and my personal goals I've had over the last 30 to 40 years. That's always changed. And I've always been able to tick them off. But it's good to see that you've achieved your goals. But going and talking about the whys, my first why was I wanted to travel a lot more with my wife. And I remember being, at school, primary school, walking home late and heading home knowing that I was going to get maybe a beating from my mum or my dad. So on the way home, I used to look at the sky and look at the airplanes and the vapor trails. And I was thinking, I wonder where these airplanes are going. And wherever they're going, I wanted to go to escape from the beatings I knew I was going to get. So the first thing I always wanted to travel. Thankfully, I have traveled a lot, and even more so with the project that Ricardo will be talking a little bit in a while. I've been able to travel a lot more with my wife, and we've also been able to do some tours. The other why I wanted to kind of concentrate was I wanted to spend more time with my mum. Now, unfortunately, my mum's passed away, and with the whys, I think personally they have to change. You need to modify them. If it doesn't make you cry, then maybe that's not your why. But my last why was I didn't want to leave a mediocre life. I didn't want to leave, just an ordinary life. I wanted to lead an extraordinary life. Now, Ricardo would know that I've been working in schools for the best part of 30 years, actually, on and off. And it's good to see the children I was working at that time are now adults. And when I'm walking on the street, Mr. Lee, Mr. Alex, I'm thinking, who's that? Right, okay. Oh, it's you. What are you doing now? Oh, I'm at university. So being able to be part of that young person's life who is now an adult, for me, is very, very fulfilling. And for me, that is extraordinary. So I wanted to make sure I'm leading not a normal life, not an ordinary life, but an extraordinary life. That holds me accountable. Anyone who knows me, I don't need a lot of motivation because I'm self-motivated. I'm very, very determined. Very, very determined. So these are all my whys. And I'm just kind of thinking some of them might need to be modified. But yeah, that's me. That's me.
Fantastic. Also, love to give it to the audience a little bit of the meaning. I think, Gabriel, you already have been touching about a couple of stuff that you might need to have. And when I'm talking about meaning, is it need to be a purpose in your why. It's your core belief system. It's the things that is going to wake you up every day and push you to do your daily activities that you need to do to achieve it. That is not strong enough to push you to get out of bed and do you think a purpose. So you need to have a purpose. It's your intrinsic motivator. Or motivation. You don't need anything. You don't need to be more motivated. That is your why. That is the thing that are going to bring you up from whatever you are and going to push you to do your daily activities. And as you always say, it's your North Star. Every time we're getting out the way, we're getting a little bit confused. When you're trying to take that detour, you look up and you see it. And that will keep you on the course where you need to go. Why is important? And by why, I would say, the motivation, it needs to be strong. It needs to be, as Alex said, you need to make you cry. This is to be the things that you can bend. You need to go straight. That is the thing. As Gabriel, you said before, fulfillment. It needs to keep you in, keep you that cavity here completely full. Why it doesn't give you that sensation, you need to find a lot of things. And authenticity is yours. It's yours, not somebody else. It needs to describe you. It needs to have a bond and connection with you, which is quite essential. Every single one is different. Clarity needs to be clear, man. Needs to be clear. It cannot be confused. Yes, you can change it, but it needs to be clear. You know exactly, Alex, how it looks like. You can visualize it, Gabriel. You know exactly what's your why. Doesn't look like it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Again, how to find it. Get a mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your actions. Do some self-reflections. Write down on a piece of paper. All right? Write down on a piece of paper. Where am I in life now? My age. Oh, dear. Look at my age. What am I now? The time is ticking. The time is ticking. You know?
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Dude, what needs to happen, you know, to have a better second half of this game? Because we are all playing the second half now. The first 45 minutes are done. The referee whistle. Listen, if you didn't do it, you can do it now, but you can think about what you didn't do, and in the second half, you need to play a better game. Make some good reflections. Be honest and brutal with yourself. It's important, and that will help you to find your way. What are you saying, guys?
Yeah. Just one thing before Gabriel comes in. So a little tip for those of you watching now: write your why and put it in your wallet. These are my whys. So whenever I'm opening my wallet to pay for something, I'm looking at my list of whys. You always keep it close to you. Remind yourself of why you're doing this, or why you're looking to go into that direction where you want to get to obtain your goal. Gabs, sorry, you want to say something, Gabs?
Yeah, no, just just based on that, which you're just saying about the whys. You know, some people want to put in their wallet. I've got my vision board.
Yeah.
With my whys on it. You know what I mean? With my whys on it, I look. You know, every time I look at it, you look at it, and I go, "Oh my goodness!" You know, it's amazing because you just look at it and you go, "Oh my God, I've got," you know, I'm getting it, and it helps you even. You look at them and then you go, "Okay, these are my goals," and you're ticking them. But obviously, your book, your notes and everything like all the little tasks and the daily stuff that you're going to be doing in order to achieve that vision, right? So, and then when you look at it, because it makes you, I used to think to myself about, writing it down, and some people say, well, back in the day, I used to think, no, I've got it in my head. I know what I want, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I know what I want. So it's my head.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, you know what? Maybe there's something in this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's something in this. You know what? I'm going to write them down and see what happens. And behold, you know what? It was just like magic. You start looking, you start thinking of something, and then you start hitting them. You're going, oh, tick that one off. Oh my goodness me, I've reached it. Even the year. Oh my gosh. Wow. You know what I mean? So you got to time it. You know what I mean? So that's when they talk about the smart, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we touched about it, but how it has to be, the goals and everything have to be smart and everything like that in order for it to be realized. Are they realistic? You know what I mean? Time based, all those sort of things. Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're gonna get into the next segment of the podcast. But I've just noticed there's been quite a few comments in the live chat, but we'll probably get to those comments in live chat towards the end of this podcast. So Gabriel, unfortunately, you're going to continue, man.
You're going to let me continue?
Yeah.
All right, then, okay, I'll just go continue. So we'll just go through the slides. So obviously, as Ricardo alluded to about the drive, right? So here we go. We're using the purpose. This is your power of your why is using the purpose to fuel the daily success, i.e. the daily goals, and you can tick them off and say, oh, I've done it. Do you know what I mean? That's the power of the why, because you have now in the nitty gritty of stuff, and you're going through the trenches, and this is it. Now you need the fuel to rocket you, to keep you going, and that's what you need. That the why is there for. All right, your next one, Alex. Yeah. So as I said, what is your why? As Carl explained, your purpose is just your purpose, your mission. He mentioned that. Core motivation. He mentioned that. It is a deep reason behind your goals and ambitions. Example: I want to succeed to provide a better life for my family. he mentioned it earlier on about it has to be bigger than you. That family could be not even just like your family could extend from your immediate family. It could be, you know what I mean, family, you know, who reside in other parts of the world or anything like that. You want to bring it together. So, you know, I have a vision. I had that vision of, I remember I said I wanted to have a vision where I can meet a lot of my relatives that I haven't seen ever, and they live abroad. And I, you know, to do that, that was one of my missions. Now I wasn't waiting for people to get together. I said, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm writing down, planning it, everything, you know. I remember writing on my vision board years ago. And then it got to the time, right? And, you know, then you start planning the task and everything like that to get there. Yes, mammoth task, but it was brilliant, and I was able to do it, and it was amazing because I'm meeting my cousins and everything all abroad. I haven't seen for forever long, but it's an amazing thing. So yeah, some big, and how you impact their lives as well because they've seen you, and you brought also other people together too at the same time. It's amazing. It's amazing. So,
yeah, Gab, can I ask you a question, Gab, before we go into the next slide?
Yeah.
So that why, you know, the example of the why, I want to succeed to provide a better life for my family. Is that too generic, or is that specific enough? Because I'm thinking, right.
No. Oh, you can break it down to be specific. I mean,
right. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, you can, because it has to be specific too. Right. So I want to provide a better life for my family. So you can turn that. So, but when it comes to your family, I mean, that could be generic, as I said, it could be like your immediate family, right? Your family might be in a point where it's pretty tough. You're going through paycheck to paycheck. You're trying to pay the bills. You're always in the red. You've got the banks, coming at you. You know what I mean? You've got the bills coming at you, and you just can't, feel like you're in a rut. And at the same time, you know what I mean? You can't do certain things with your kids or your family because you can't, because you're literally running, trying to get ahead, and it's just, and you feel like you're on a hamster wheel. So that could be that could be one thing. So when you look at that amounts to many other things, because once you want to succeed and give a better life, then all the other things start to happen. Like now you've got more time with your family. Now you've got the freedom to do, spend more time. Yeah, as I said, with your family, more time to travel with them, and traveling, I think, was a wonderful thing, right? Things like that. So, wow, it's amazing what you can do when you have the freedom. But yeah, so that's probably, yes, it can be generic, but you can break it down to specific things like that. You know what I mean? Being able to take my son to school, and be there, see them at their most of them when they do their shows at school or whatever, those sorts of things. Some parents don't have time to do that. So yeah. All right. So why your why matters, like that. Why your why matters. So as I've got this diagram, purpose, mention it, right? The motivation, the action, isn't it? As I said, it helps align those daily actions, right, from long-term goals with long-term goals, and as we said earlier, builds resilience and consistency. Right? And that's something. And with that resilience and consistency, you get results.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want to get. So how to discover your why? This is this is like a vision of it. Yeah. As we see, dreams. Yeah, you start with your dreams. Your dreams start when you were young, because that's your dreams are, I think, authentic to you. You know how you what your dreams are, because you dream of something, whatever, and then you think to yourself, okay, how are you dreaming up just on a whim, or anything like that? But from then you start to visualize it and make it make it more realistic, and then you can see all these things where you're like, okay, what places I would love to go out, go abroad and visit so and so. That's realistic. How do you make that happen? Yeah, and then the other things is is where do you get the inspiration from certain people? You might see something one day on from someone you speak to or someone you see, and you get inspiration and go, oh, I would love to do that.
Yeah,
I would love to be able to do that. That just, it just touches you. You know what I mean? You just touch it. So you get inspiration that way, and then you just start looking at that and you go, we mentioned family as well, which is there, but then you just start putting your goals down, and the goals are, in fact, the goals are more specific, right? Goals are more specific because you're more granular, I should say, more granular, because now you're starting to break them down and say, okay, what am I do each day, each week, each month, see what you've done, you know what I mean? And then it goes into that yearly thing as well. So, yeah, so that's how you discover. So think about it. Brainstorm starts with from I think the dreams. I think dreams, yes. Don't be dreaming out something out of the whim. I think a dream, comes at something. You feel it when you look at something like you're looking in the mirror. That's part of you. Your reflection and everything. You're visualizing it. Okay, what do I want to do? Oh yeah, I'd love to do this. I want this. I feel I need to do this. It has to be that strong, and it has to be, as you said earlier, Ricardo. Let it be. It has to be bigger than you. It has to be bigger.
Yeah. Can I quickly ask Ricardo a question? So, as mentors and coaches and educators, Ricardo, how should we look to try and motivate or inspire young adults or children who are profoundly disabled? Actually, we call them PLD, or have mild learning disabilities. How are you motivating those young people, young adults that you're working with, to have like a dream and reach those dreams, Ricardo?
From Alex gave been working in this kind of setting now for a while, and I first of all, I treat every single kid with respect, regardless to the disabilities or the learning difficulties, regardless to anything. I treat them with respect, but I always try to teach my kid discipline. I always try to teach them resilience. I don't because you have a disability or something, I'm not gonna be that kind of a okay, no worries, you will do it tomorrow, or if you do something that you shouldn't do, I won't look to the other way. I will tell you as it is, because for me it's about educating you for what is out there waiting for you. Okay, because there is a big world out there with a lot of people that some of them don't understand or not want to be looking at you because you have this or you have that. So I need to educate you, I need to give you that little discipline and resilience. So when you go out there, you can have a better chance, or you can do different things. And this is sometimes when I see schools, oh my God, it's like a nursery is one thing and a school is a different thing. Right? Sometimes we get confused between nursery and school and nursery. I'm here to help you as a young man that you are to understand that you need to have some principles in your tool, maybe not as much as I have, but something that will help you for the time you are out there. Of course, it's all depend on who you are, the moment in life that you are. It depends to a little things, but for me, is I treat them with respect. I treat everybody equal, but I give to teach them that kind of discipline and resilience that you need to have when you get yourself out there. And Alex, you and me have been working in the same settings, and sometimes some people, you see people working in the school, you say, well, you're brilliant, but I think you should be working in nursery home with little kids. These are not little kids. These are big kids. And one day go through that door and they'll never come back. And if you don't do the job in here now to get them prepared to what is outside there, when they get outside, they're gonna think that, oh, hold on a sec, this is not what I'm prepared. I want somebody now to give me a hand or give me here or give me a cuddle. No, it's not anything. this is life. We need to get into that. We need to get prepared, and then we. So for me, it's just very equal, respect. This is important. I know this deal in this new age that we're living now, when you mention discipline, everybody started like, oh, but
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
discipline will take you anywhere.
It's required.
Yeah.
So for me, it's Alex. That's what I do.
Nice one, Ricardo, man. All right, Gabs.
All right. So yeah, this was the other thing I was meant to mention. So as I said, think about that why. It has to be something which, you know, think about something. You don't even have to put what would you do and what would be you passionate about, what would you be really passionate about, even if you're not even being paid for it. That's a really very important thing, right? Very much so. So yeah, must think that it has to be that you feel it. Money money is not attached to it. You got to feel it in your bones. It's there and everything, like you just, as you said, you wake up in the morning and it just drives you, and money is not the determining factor, right? So, interesting. So as I say, yeah, using your why daily. I think we touched about it this earlier. It's just basically about writing your what's your writing the strategy, the vision. You have the vision, but what's the strategy you're going to use? Those strategies are going to be broken down into daily tasks. You have ideas that come up during the journey, and you're planning it and everything. And then you need to be motivated to actually continue with doing these things iteratively, right? Daily, so that in order for you to get the success. So start each day by reconnecting with your why. That's very great thing to start with. Wake up in the morning, you go, okay, now why, thinking about that why, and it gets you motivated. It starts to get you going. Then prioritizing your task. Remind yourself during hard moments, as we say, you're going to come up across stumbling blocks. When you do, you need to remind yourself why you're doing this or why you're doing what you're doing, right? And then when I say share it with others for accountability, sometimes that could be with your mentor, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the last one's a tough one, man.
Yeah,
it's a tough one because like I think we spoke about this last week. So you have a meeting, one-to-one meeting with your group or your organization, and each of them are coming up with their plan of action, and we're going to say, all right, next week we're going to meet up to see how you got on with those tasks or ideas you came up with, and you got the meeting coming up with your mentor, and the first question is, how did you get on? Well, mentor, I didn't do it. Well, why didn't you do it? You was the one who said that you want to do X, Y, and Z, and you didn't do X, Y, and Z. So, Ricardo, I'm talking to you, man, about this, because I know there's a lot of people over the years who I wouldn't say I've been their mentor. I've just been in a position, to grow an organization. I've just been at the top, and we have meetings. We've got WhatsApp calls, Zoom calls lined up, and what happens? The person doesn't turn up because they don't want to be accountable or held accountable for all the things that they said they were going to do. Isn't that tough, Ricardo? Is it not tough, guys?
It's
tough. It is.
No. To be honest, that doesn't surprise me anymore. I've seen it many times. It's tough. It's disappointed. I think these are the things that people struggle the most. It's about keeping up with the things that they say they're gonna do, and then after that, they just it's like the peacock, the bird that when forget things, put the things in there, bury the things in there. they hit them on the floor, but still everybody is there. Everybody can see it. Everybody, you are there. This is the thing that people struggle the most. If you are able to fight it, if you are able to discipline yourself, if you are able to have that courage to say, you know what, it's true, I didn't do it, but I need to do it, or I need to find the time how to do it, or at least face the music. You know, it's a big step to get to use sex and to fight for your goals. You need to have that, be that accountable first with yourself, be honest with yourself, and then having an accountability partner or a mentor, it makes it that different, because you need to come clean. You need to come to place and then talk about the things that you said in that time or that framework that you will do it. So yes, it is a big. It's a big one.
Yeah, that's actually a mixture of fear in certain people, isn't it? The fear within themselves that I mean, oh God, I can't, don't know if I should go, because exactly, you want to be accountable, because they don't know whether they really want to do it, or want to do it, and they're questioning themselves and anything like that. But I think it's getting across the fear. I love the saying that there's a book which I used to read back in the day. Feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Great book, book, man. Yeah,
great book. Feel the fear. Yeah, it just tells you how the psychology of people, how they think. And you look at it, you go, wow, yeah, of course. You go, that's exactly what a lot of people do. How do you get through through like that? And then it actually mentions about, and I love the way that acronyms. It uses the fear as the acronym. It says false evidence appearing real.
Real, yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good point. So it's accountability sometimes is a fact, because people don't turn up. You've seen this. You have a meeting, they've agreed to it, and then you're waiting. You think they haven't turned up. Boom, no show.
Been there many times, Gabs.
Many times over.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because you have to, when you've obviously spoken to the person, and they said they're going to come, and you can't be. It's very easy for us to be knocked back by that. Oh God, there's about 10 people in a row that I've been, or so people have asked to come to this meeting, and they haven't turned up, and you think to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why?
Yeah. But we go on, Gabs.
Yes. So yes, this one, successful why creates, right? So as I said, consistency and commitment, a clear direction in decisions, right? As you mentioned, clarity, right? And it said fulfillment beyond achievement. So when you've achieved something, and you've achieved something to get you to the ultimate goal, right? And you look back and you go through those achievements, they're fulfilling and they're motivating you to go on to the next achievement in order for you to get to where you want to go, to the, what I say, to the mountaintop, right? All right. So that's why it's very important, right, to have a clear direction and have those, and then it gives you fulfillment beyond those achievements. And then the last one there was the success with meaning and lasting impact, and that's what you want. You want success with meaning. It means so much to you as an individual, right? When some people are following other people's, because I saw some, and they haven't got their own dreams, and they're following other people's, and then it may be some reason they feel like succeeded, but it doesn't mean much to them. Right? It has to be really, absolutely lasting impact in that sense. Yeah.
There's a question for either Ricardo or Gabriel. It says, are there any whys we should not be looking at or looking to do or to fulfill?
Any why?
Yeah, is there a particular why that you should not be thinking about?
Well, I think we,
go on.
let me go forward. But as mentioned before, I mean, why it is such a unique things, and it's such an individual thing. I mean, everybody have different why. I don't think that is a good why or bad why. I think that you will give your life the priority and importance that every moment required So I'm pretty sure someone asked why, but we have our why. As I said before, you made that in Pacific, but it's yours. It's your why. I think everything related to your life is important to you. So if you don't give the importance of why, who else is gonna give it? It's yours. Everything happening in your life is important. So you just go for it, organize it, and do it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. You know, what I mean? So a why that you in that question, a why that you shouldn't be. I think the question is what I shouldn't be following. The why. Is that what, sorry, I'm trying to remember what the question was.
Yeah. Are there any whys we should not be looking?
Don't be looking at a why which is not authentic to you.
You
know what I mean? When I say authentic to you, it's not your why. Right. So I mentioned that earlier. If you're following a why which is not your why, then it's not going to have that meaning and fulfillment that you're going to get at the end of it. Right. It's nothing. I'd say there's nothing worse that you've put so much hard work into and so much passion into, and then you realize it's not your why. It's not your why, and then at the end of it, you're disappointed in yourself that you think, oh well, I'm not getting the feeling of that euphoric feeling of achievement. So, that's how I see it. So it has to be something that really means so much to you. It has to be a question about not and again, no wishy-washy wise. Wishy why.
I want to go into
so wishy-washy why. www, right?
That doesn't make you cry. All right. Let me go to the live chat. So I've got English Conversation Club. It says, hello, lads. I think we read this one before about, I won't do that one. Melissa says, hi. She said that I'm living my soft life travel, dying and luxury living. Okay, that's my why. I wasn't born to struggle. Well, that's a good one actually. Wasn't born to struggle. Well done.
Like that.
Okay, what's the other one I picked up on? I think she goes on to say just some other comments. I'm great, thanks. Life's too beautiful. My motivators kind of different. Not so much about anything, but enjoying my life. And all right, she also said people are always rushing to accomplish things. Nothing really has a time stamp or is perfect to do. So I think she's trying to say that really, when the time's right for you to achieve something, you will achieve it. I think that's what she's trying to say.
Yeah, see, I agree with it. You don't have to. You're not rushed. You don't have to rush it. I mean, when the time is right, you don't. Yeah, some people go out. I've got to do something. I've got to be succeed in something. I've got to rush out to do it. Yeah, sometimes I must admit, you have to go through. Sometimes some people have that realization at certain points in their life. You know what I mean? It may not happen when some have it when they're very young and they know very clear what they want to do. Some have it when, maybe, when they later on in life, right?
Yeah.
We've seen some people achieve some things when they, well in their 60s, in the 70s, you've seen success like that, 60s and 70s. You think to yourself, oh my goodness me, they never stop.
Yeah.
Right. So, they all of a sudden they're doing what they're doing, and they realize, oh, you know what? I've got clarity now what I really want to do, and they figure something and then succeed. Right.
Isn't Colonel Sanders a perfect example of that? He didn't achieve success until his 60s, 70s because he had the recipe
in his 60s. Colonel Sanders, you mean isn't that the one from McDonald's?
KFC.
KFC.
Yeah. I think he didn't achieve success until he was in his 50s or 60s. So
yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
correct. I think even the guy from McDonald's. I'm trying to remember his name now. The first name. I've got the book, but even he pretty late.
Right. Never too late. It's never too late.
Never.
You had a dream. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking about it. I'm going, I don't know whether, I remember reading that when I was about in my 20s, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to be, I don't know if I could do, thinking about doing that at that age. I'm thinking about it now. But then again, but then I realized, I think, well, here I'd say I'm in my 50s, right? So but I still feel like, there's so much more to life to give, right?
Melissa says, if you're alive and breathing, it's never too late.
There you go. You go.
That, man.
Never too late.
Ricardo, you want to say something? Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, you should have been rushing things, but still, the whole thing, you just need to do it. It's like the Nike slogan. I mean, you have to do it and do it and do it and do it until. But you have the other side of the coin. Some people who are waiting. Some people who I have that little proverb that I like. I always say to people, if you're waiting for all the lights in the town to go green, that will never happen.
Nah.
So it's gonna be a red light.
Yeah. And that's,
there is no perfect time. There is no perfect
there's
time.
no such thing as a perfect time in when you do something, right?
Absolutely.
And make it happen.
Do
Absolutely.
Melissa's got one more comment. She says, my biggest why is believing in myself, of course.
But I believe that.
That's a really good one.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. So, in fact, when it comes to the big, when I look at that, biggest why is believing in myself. Like some people, someone said last week that, if I remember, when he looks in the mirror, he doesn't like what he sees. You remember that one? Yeah, someone said that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe when I see that one, Melissa's one, is that maybe that person could have a big why there to say, how do I get to believing in myself?
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, what are the steps in order for me to get to that point where I believing in myself? And obviously, from believing in yourself, and once you've achieved that, many things start to happen. Many things start to happen for you.
Well, Gabs, check this one out. So there's another follow-up message from Melissa. And she says, I started my healthcare business in 2021, made my first 7 figures in 2022, and opened med spas after I started my first business course. My grandma needed home care, and that's where the idea came from. I was 21.
Inspiration.
Tell you what.
Inspiration. There it was. Where you said, wow. There you say, I said it. Grandma needed home care, and that's where the idea came from. That's where you were inspired.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
And you did something that was bigger than you, because there you go. And I said,
and like I said, it has to be bigger than you, innit? I put my last year of college on pause. Just finished my degree in 2024. I'm in the States. Hey, you could be anywhere, man. But well done, Melissa. Well, that's an inspirational story there. Inspirational. Got to get you onto the channel. Got to get you on the platform, Melissa. Talk about your story.
That's
we'll all have a story.
All right.
And your vision was clear at a young age. You had the clarity right there. And as I said, and no one's going to have it. You can't put a timing and say, oh, it should happen at this age, or it should happen at that age. Your clarity could come anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ricardo, you ready to do your part of the presentation, or shall we leave for next week? It's up to you, man.
We can leave for next week. Just say something before we go. I mean, I think this has been amazing. Why it's such a, I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of comments. And I just wanted to say something to the audience before we go. I want everybody to reflect on this. What God placed inside you is not designed to be buried. I want to say again, what God placed inside you is not designed, to be buried. You have a lot to give. And you guys, you're all special. And there is something inside you that you need to bring it out and share it with the world, because the world need you. Need that why, need a big idea like Melissa did, need people who are driven by something. And the more you do it, the more you inspire other people to do the same thing. So back to you guys.
Well done. Well said, Ricardo. A couple more comments from Melissa. She says, thanks. It was a moment I was dabbling in business ideas before it just worked out. COVID helped a lot. Hey, but listen, you got the vision. You had the vision.
Love it.
Because, Ricardo always say, you know what? It's about having that vision of where you can see yourself, your future self, your best version of yourself in that moment in time.
Yeah.
And you got it. So well done. Well done.
I love it. The fact that he did it because let me tell you something. That's what I said. I remember saying this to her. I said, COVID, you either look at it as a moment of
blessed
doom and gloom, or you look at it as a blessing. What do you take out of that and say, what? I'm gonna take the opportunity it presents. And that's what, and let me tell you something. COVID produced many opportunities for a lot of people who could see it, right? Who could see that where there's opportunities where it needs to be. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, other people need the same care. I just duplicated and my grandma need what my grand exactly.
Yeah. Melissa, well done. Success story, man. You know what? I feel a little bit inspired. I think for the next podcast, I think I'm probably going to talk about somebody that's probably inspired me over the years, who made it. He's now passed now, but maybe that could be an inspiration for the next podcast. But wow, I need to get another checkbook out, man. I need to pay you guys. I've got no money to pay, man. Ricardo, as always, man. Thank you so very much, brother, man.
I've done. I know not to represent. I'm present stuff like that. It's something that because I have to do it, not because something that I will say I will enjoy the most. But what I really love about what we're doing here is I really feel free to talk. Believe it, I did. This is also an amazing space to interact with people and put our ideas forward. As always, I say to people, we are not experts. We just share with you our journey. We're all a different journey. We share.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Listen to amazing contribution for someone from the audience, and this is what we want to see. So
yeah, exactly. Sharing a journey, and hearing people like Melissa. It would be nice to hearing people like that. It's inspiring. I love hearing that too. You know what I mean? So seeing other people contributing here and telling them their story, great stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Just one more thing, actually, I forgot to talk about. So something else I did during the midweek. I posed a question on the platform, and it was, which one are you? Which one are you? Just choose only one. So, are you working the 9 to 5? Are you self-employed? Are you retired, or are you looking for opportunities? So actually tied on 9%, I'm self-employed and I'm retired. On 80% of the votes, somebody has said that they are looking for opportunities. You're in the right place. Right. And on 64%, I'm not surprised at this. 64% of subscribers have said that they are working in a 9 to 5 job.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, all right.
I'll
leave it there. So, Ricardo and Gabriel, man, listen, thank you very much for your presence on the Opportunity Forum. I'm hoping we probably can get Melissa join us sometime if she wants to. It's actually, in actual fact, it's open to anyone who wants to speak freely, talk about your experiences, maybe talk about your why, who's inspired you. Come onto the platform. The email is in the description box. If you're wanting to be coached by either Ricardo or Gabriel, the email is also in the description box. But from inspired Alex in North London, and from Gabriel in Australia, and Ricardo also in West London, I've really enjoyed this one. Really, really good. All right. So Melissa has just said that she has subbed and she will reach out to us. Melissa, we need to get you. We'll get you on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Melissa. All right, guys, listen, so have a great weekend, and we shall see you next week for another podcast on the Opportunity Forum. Until then, guys, take care and bye-bye.
Brilliant.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.